You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
France has once again been thrown into political chaos. Prime Minister François Bayrou has been forced out of office after losing a dramatic vote of no confidence in the National Assembly. The result was not even close. 364 votes against him compared to 194 in his favor. By French law, this means Bayrou will present his resignation, along with that of his government, to President Emmanuel Macron. The president must now decide what comes next, but whichever option he chooses, there is no guarantee it will bring stability. This vote was triggered by Bayrou himself. He had called an emergency confidence debate centered on France's ballooning national debt, which now stands at around 3.4 trillion euros. To tackle the issue, he had proposed highly controversial measures: cutting national holidays, freezing pensions and welfare, and aiming to save about 44 billion euros in the 2026 budget. His warning was stark. Without action, he said, France risked losing its financial independence. Debt, he argued, was like submission to arms, something that would condemn future generations. But his warnings did not persuade Parliament. Instead, both the left and the far right saw an opportunity to unite against him, and his fate was sealed. For Macron, this is a particularly bitter moment. Bayrou is the second of his prime ministers in less than a year to collapse in office. In fact, if a replacement is named soon, France will be on its fifth prime minister in under 2 years. An extraordinary record that reflects both political fragmentation and public disillusionment. Macron's critics in the far-left France Unbowed party are even calling for him personally to step down, though few believe that will actually happen. The choices before Macron are limited. He could appoint another centrist ally, perhaps from his inner circle, such as Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu or Labour Minister Catherine Vautrin. He could try to reach across the aisle to the socialists, though they demand a sharp turn away from his pro-business policies and a repeal of the pension reform that raised the retirement age to 64. Or he could dissolve Parliament entirely and call for fresh elections, a gamble that might only deepen the gridlock if no clear majority emerges. Meanwhile, frustration in the country is building. Polls suggest most citizens are more concerned about the cost of living, security, and immigration than about debt levels. Protest movements are already being organized, with unions planning demonstrations in mid-September, and activist groups preparing boycotts and sit-ins. Economists agree that France faces a difficult road ahead. The cost of servicing debt is projected to rise sharply, from 30 billion euros in 2020 to more than 100 billion euros by 2030. At the same time, Macron has pledged new spending on defense, and opposition parties demand the pension reform be scrapped. In this tense environment, Bayrou's dramatic exit is being described by some commentators as political suicide. He might have avoided this showdown, but he chose to stake everything on a message that Parliament, and the public, simply did not want to hear. What happens now is uncertain. Macron has time to choose a new leader for his government, but with a fractured parliament and deep divisions across the political spectrum, the prospect of stability feels as distant as ever. France remains caught in a cycle of crisis, and the question being asked more urgently is whether the presidency itself can withstand the strain. Stay subscribed for more videos.